find coffee that's as robust as the people are resilient. Where streets wind through centuries-old architectural gems and bustling commercial centers. Where men and women who burned with idealism and patriotic fervor changed Philippine history forever. It's all here in Batangas Province, the crossroads of history, culture, business, and leisure. Founded in 1581, Batangas is a first-class province that's only 110 kilometers southeast of Manila. It's bounded by Cavite and Laguna in the north, Quezon in the east, and the South China Sea in the west. To the south lies the island of Mindoro. Batangas covers an area of over 3,165 square kilometers, making it one of the largest provinces in the country. In the recent years, under the banner of a strong provincial government, Batangas has grown into an economic powerhouse fueled by diverse agricultural and industrial investments. From a province that has 31 municipalities and 3 cities come the famous Barako coffee, some of the most highly prized fighting cocks in the country, and prime horseflesh that are bred for international markets. Batangas is also home to commercial flower and ornamental plant farms. One of its towns, San Jose, produces more than 2.5 million eggs a day, earning it the title Egg Capital of the Philippines. And the beef that's purchased from your neighborhood market probably came from a cow that was sold at Padre Garcia. The town hosts Asia's largest livestock auction every week. Batangas is a haven for investors large and small. At the Lima Industrial Park in Malvar, dozens of global companies have set up shop, while one hotel is making it convenient for corporate travelers to do business in the area. The Lima Park Hotel is a fully furnished home away from home, complete with a business center and other basic amenities to meet the demands of busy executives. The heart of the thriving province is the capital, Batangas City. Once you've arrived in the city, check in at the popular boutique hotel called Pontefino. Its luxurious accommodation and warm service exemplify the Batangueño brand of gracious hospitality. Located south of the central province, the coastal city has the largest and busiest seaport in the region. The Batangas International Port is a key drop-off point for countless cargoes that enter the Philippines, including these cars, which will end up at your local dealership. The port is also the gateway for tourists who want to visit Puerto Galera and the other islands in Mindoro. Several of the prominent nationalists hail from Batangas Province, rightly called the cradle of noble heroes. A giant among them is Apolinario Mabini, Batangas' favorite son and the brains of the revolution. He was not only the chief advisor to General Emilio Aguinaldo, he was also the author of the Constitution of the First Philippine Republic of 1899 to 1901. Struck by polio in his youth and confined to a wheelchair, the Sublime Paralytic, as he was called, became the Prime Minister of the newly independent Philippine government. If Mabini plotted the course of the revolution, his contemporary, General Miguel Malvar, was a formidable and elusive opponent who confounded the militarily superior Americans. Claro M. Recto, another eminent Batangueño, reawakened Filipino nationalism with his vocal criticisms against U.S.-controlled foreign policies and American military presence. While revolutionaries raised their swords and flourished their pens, one woman took a humble needle and thread and created an enduring symbol of valor and independence. She was Marcela Agoncillo, the seamstress of the first official Philippine flag General Aguinaldo proudly waved during the Declaration of Independence on July 12, 1898. Built in the late 1800s, the home where Marcela grew up has been transformed into a museum. If Batangas has an icon, it would undoubtedly be the majestic Taal volcano. The Grand Dame of southern Luzon emerged from Taal Lake centuries ago, while the rest of her remains submerged underwater. With a peak elevation of only 311 meters, she is recognized as the world's smallest active volcano. Both the lake and the volcano sit like a jeweled centerpiece within the crater of a huge extinct volcano. Taal volcano is a magnet for trekkers. The adventure begins with a ride across the lake on an outrigger from nearby towns, like San Nicolas and Agoncillo, and continues on the rocky, treacherous slopes that lead to the summit. The town of Taal once stood along the shores of the lake before a volcanic eruption forced its people to move west and settle on a verdant hill overlooking Balayan Bay. Founded in 1572 by Spanish friars, Taal has a proud and glorious past that is kept alive with beautifully preserved architecture dating back to the Spanish colonial era. Towering over the village, right in the heart of the poblacion, or the town center, is the imposing Basilica de San Martin de Tours, also known as Taal Basilica. Built by Augustinian missionaries in 1756, the church underwent reconstruction after being leveled by a violent earthquake. The 96-meter-tall stone edifice, once considered the biggest church in East Asia, bears a facade that is reminiscent of the St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Its interior, however, has been described as an extravagant confluence of different styles. Another Catholic landmark that has a long and even more colorful history is the Sanctuario of Our Lady of Kaysasay in the small barrio of Labac. Townsfolk say that in 1603, a noble fisherman caught in his net a 27-centimeter statue of the Blessed Virgin of the Immaculate Conception. One of the sites of the Virgin apparitions lies just behind the church, past an old iron bridge. During Holy Week, pilgrims flock to this sacred place, where a vine-encroached stone arch stands guard over the Santa Lucia twin wells, which locals claim contain healing waters. Aside from religious shrines, Taal has some of the oldest stone houses. A stroll in the poblacion gives you a glimpse of the typical colonial structures owned by the gentry or the ilustrados. However, the house once owned by Doña Gliceria Marelia Villavicencio is more than an architectural specimen of a bygone era. It was also a secret meeting place for the Katipuneros, or revolutionaries. Some of the old houses in Taal, such as this ancestral home, may look familiar even to those who've never visited the town. Like the Montenegro residence, they're used as settings for films and commercials, with its hardwood floor, antique furniture, and ventanilla. The place still retains the allure of a traditional Filipino home. Taal cuisine is often described as simple, unpretentious, but savory. The famous Tapang Taal exemplifies that culinary philosophy. At the Taal Wet Market, one vendor explains the simple process of making these marinated pork slices.
Meron ho kami kasi dito sinusunod yung timpla ng una pa. Bawang, may paminta, asukal, may konti pitsin.
Another local favorite is the empanada, half-moon-shaped pies filled with beef, pork, or vegetables. Fried to a golden crisp, they make a convenient and filling snack. When it comes to seafood, two fish reign supreme as Taaleño delicacies, the maliputo and the tawilis. In the Philippines, the only known habitat of the spiny-finned maliputo, or carangids to the Westerners, is the Taal Lake. Enriched with volcanic minerals, the lake provides a fertile breeding ground for the organisms that the fish feed on. Also indigenous to the lake, the tawilis is a freshwater sardine that is harvested at the Pansipit River, the only outlet of the Taal Lake. So how do the Taaleños like their tawilis? Fried and crunchy, just the way Taal Bayview Bistro serves it. Small and delicate boned, the whole fish is eaten from head to tail. Now that's how you polish off a plate. The fleshier maliputo, on the other hand, is usually cooked as a hearty tamarind stew. You can't visit Taal without making a stop at one of the stores that sell the famed Burdang Taal. Making this special hand embroidery has been a tradition for more than a century. Simple or intricate, the elegant relief designs are meticulously and skillfully applied to traditional formal wear, like the traje de boda and the barong Tagalog. From something soft and luxurious to something sharp and deadly, the balisong is a symbol of Batangueño craftsmanship that has roots going back to the early 1900s. Originally patterned from the Muslim sword, kris, it has evolved to its present form, a pocket knife that opens up like a traditional Chinese fan. If you want to experience a night or two in an ancestral house, let these ladies welcome you to Casa Punzalan. More than a century old, the family residence was transformed into a pension in 1997, becoming the first lodging in town. If you prefer less dated surroundings, you can check in at the Little Bridge Resort. With clean and comfortably large rooms that are equipped with modern amenities, the hotel is a popular choice for travelers who are looking for smart deals. North of Batangas City, cradled between Mount Makulot and Mount Malarayat, lies the main urban hub, Lipa. Second only to the capital in population, it crackles with the energy of a society built on commerce and sustained by premium education and modern healthcare. It's a community that works hard and plays hard. The name Lipa is a constant reminder of the struggles the early residents experienced in their quest to establish a permanent settlement. They abandoned their original home, a sinking island in Taal Lake, and relocated several times to escape the volcano's wrath. Others claim the city was named after the Lipa tree, which grew in abundance back then. Whatever its origin, Lipa owes much of its prosperous and glorious past to coffee. In the late 1880s, when a viral disease laid waste to coffee plantation in Brazil and elsewhere, Lipa was suddenly propelled to the worldwide status of leading coffee supplier. Although the golden age is long gone, the city is still known as one of the few places in the country that grows and serves great coffee, especially the Barako, a Liberica variety. At Café de Lipa, caffeine enthusiasts indulge in the intense aroma and full-bodied flavor of the distinctly Batangas brew. Kapeng Barako is not for the weak of heart. Just like the virile ox that shares the Barako name, this dark, potent drink delivers a powerful kick, which, for the uninitiated, can set the pulses racing. It was probably the same sensation Jose Rizal felt when he was around his first love, Segunda Katigbak, the daughter of one of Lipa's coffee barons. Rizal wrote, "She was not the most beautiful woman I had ever seen, but I have not met another more alluring and beguiling." Built in 1880, Casa Segunda, now declared a heritage house by the National Historical Commission, exemplifies the classic Bahay na Bato, a grand stone structure with wide window shutters and wood-paneled interiors. This lady won the collective adoration of the people of Lipa and beyond. They came far and wide to pay their respects here at the Church of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, where on the same grounds stand a convent that became the center of two miraculous phenomena in 1948. The apparitions of Virgin Mary and the mysterious showers of rose petals. The petals of Lipa, as they later became known around the world, were believed by many to possess curative powers. At the Museo de Lipa, you can get a slice of the history and culture that shaped the city and its people. After a full day of sightseeing, it's time to dig into a steaming bowl of gooey, fat lomi, egg noodles heaped with toppings like beef, chicken, pork rinds, kikiam, and shrimps. Served at practically every roadside eatery in the province, the Batangueño staple was first introduced at Lomi King. At this popular diner, they still make the noodles from scratch and cut them by hand. For a banquet of Filipino dishes, head to the Golden Coco restaurant. Grilled food lovers will find their cravings amply satisfied with the kabayan platter, a signature dish that includes grilled pork, tilapia, and squid, as well as prawns cooked in coconut milk and raw tuna marinated in vinegar. Before calling it a night, take a walk down P. Torres Street, where a festive night market unfolds every evening at 6. It's bargain central for the savvy shopper. There are 3 highly recommended places for visitors staying in Lipa. One of them is the Mount Malarayat Golf and Country Club, an exclusive resort set on a spectacular verdant landscape. Guests can practice their swing at the 27-hole championship course, which has one of the top 500 best holes in the world, according to Golf Magazine. The club offers a variety of accommodations, including deluxe suites and a 32-room hotel. From one fairway to another, the Summit Point Golf and Country Club is 220 hectares of breathtaking views and first-rate facilities. Its 18-hole golf course was designed by the renowned Robert Trent Jones Jr. At an elevation of 1,100 feet, the resort offers a commanding view of Mount Makiling and Mount Malarayat. Finally, for extreme pampering, nobody does it like the farm. One of Asia's best, the Health and Wellness Resort has garnered numerous accolades, including the prestigious Asia Spa Baccarat Award. A sanctuary carved from the dense jungle of San Benito, the farm provides more than just massage and yoga training. Guests can come in for a day tour and spa, or a retreat lasting anywhere from a couple days to a few weeks. Brimming with old world charm, Batangas is a land rich in grand colonial architecture, where churches great and small stand in every city, town, and barangay. But there is another side to Batangas that makes it a destination of choice for city slickers eager for a nature-inspired getaway. With its long, irregular coastline, the province has an abundance of pristine beaches and spectacular dive sites, such as Anilao, Mabini's world-famous underwater cathedrals, and coral gardens. One of the places in Anilao that caters to divers and land lovers is the Vistamar Beach Resort and Hotel, also home to the one-of-a-kind Marine Shell Museum. Up in the northern town of Nasugbu, luxurious seaside living is defined by the Canyon Cove Residential Beach Resort, where members expect nothing less than 5-star amenities, and the Punta Fuego Resort, a gated, Mediterranean-inspired residential community. Matabungkay Beach Resort in nearby Lian is another popular spot for vacationers, most of whom are drawn to a 2-kilometer of white sand beach that stretches out into the China Sea. The town of Lian also has a quaint resort named Talamahi, where a fusion of Balinese and Filipino elements become the backdrop for colorful, rustic cottages. Along the eastern seaboard, San Juan is quickly becoming a tourist hotspot, with beachfront resorts like the Kabayan and the Laia Coco Grove. On the southern tip of the province, the sleepy village of Sawang in Lobo beckons tourists to its secluded hideaway at the Honey Beach. It's a cozy little oasis where delicious home-cooked meals are served, and guests unwind in spacious thatched roof cottages next to the sea. But it's not just any sea, it's the Verde Island Passage. Teeming with the most varied underwater wildlife, the area is internationally recognized as the center of the world's marine biodiversity. Before leaving Lobo, take a detour to Malabrigo Lighthouse. A historical landmark built in 1896, the brick structure has served as a beacon to vessels sailing the Verde Island Passage. If you want to escape to cooler climes, the town of Mataas na Kahoy next to Taal Lake provides the perfect spot. with resorts like Galilee Place, Shirkan Resort and Ecology Park, and the whimsical La Virginia. At the adjacent town of Balete, you might be lucky enough to reel in your freshest lunch ever. Sitting on the rim of Taal Lake, Balete offers an idyllic spot to cast lines against the backdrop of the famed Taal volcano. The town is also a jump-off point for those who want to trek to the peak for an unforgettable view of the crater. If you don't have the patience for fishing and would rather try something higher up on the excitement meter, head to Taal Yacht Club in Talisay and test drive one of their Hobie Cats. The sleek catamaran lets you cruise around the lake as you drink in the tranquil sight of the surrounding towns. Talisay has recently been reinvented as a resort town with hotels and establishments that suits a wide range of budgets. Another water sport has been making huge waves in Batangas. In Lago de Oro Resort at Calatagan, thrill seekers converge to get a wet and wild ride at the country's first cable wakeboard and water ski park. Hang on tight as you slice through the water and jump off the ramp. After you've rolled and flipped to your heart's content, take a breather and swing by the Lighthouse of Calatagan, the oldest structure in town. Punta de Santiago or Cape Santiago has been guiding vessels navigating between Manila and the Visayan Islands since 1890. The tower stands sentinel over the shores of Palayan Bay and bears witness to many wars, including the American-led attack that left bullet scars on the grilled gate. Tingloy Island is a haven for divers and water enthusiasts. Within Tingloy's waters are protected areas that teem with marine life. For that high-altitude adventure, pack your hiking gear and set off to the adjacent town of Cuenca, where the towering Mount Makulot, one of the highest peaks in the province, stands as a 940-foot challenge to mountaineers. Once you return back from the clouds, you've built up a huge appetite that could only be matched by the staggering buffet served at Banay Banay, right in the next town of San Jose. For over 2 decades, the restaurant has been a favorite stop for anyone who wants not only home-cooked meals at very friendly prices, but the pleasant quandary of choosing from an extensive selection of about 70 Filipino dishes. If you think Batangas is just beaches and lakeside retreats, you haven't seen everything yet. Take a quick photo op in front of the amusement park Fantasy World in Lemery, before heading to Leisure Farm, where weekend farmers try their hands at organic planting. Here they learn the latest techniques for growing vegetables without toxic chemicals. And they can also bring home fresh produce, picked right from the orchards. The younger generation, however, may find the action on the Batangas racing circuit more along their speed. In the town of Rosario, high-octane drama blazes across the 750-meter-long high-grade asphalt, a regular venue for the National Drag Racing Circuit Championship. The circuit also has a 3.7-kilometer elliptical track, where go-karts, motorcycles, and race cars go full throttle for the finish line. Batangas is a province of 1,001 products. Practically every town has its own specialty. From sweets, to sardines, to other delicacies, you'll never go hungry in Batangas, or thirsty. In Lobo, the folks are proud of their tamarind wine, produced by the women of Big A Multipurpose Cooperative since 2006. Freshly harvested sampalok, or tamarind, minus their skin, are crushed and mixed with sugar, and left to ferment for about 6 months before they are cooked to a boil. About 1,000 bottles are processed every year. The cooperative also makes spicy tamarind preserves. It's not all just food and drinks, however. Some towns are known for producing basic everyday objects like religious images, textiles, fashion accessories, and household items, including the palayok. The cooking pots are created using a special mixture of clay and soil and fired in the kiln for 2 days and nights. The same material is also used to make flower pots. Every December 8, all the towns and cities of Batangas converge to celebrate the Alae Festival. Visitors experience all the festivals of the province in just one big celebration. There's no end to what Batangas can offer. History, culture, tourist destinations, business opportunities. It's all here, it's so near.